So this one is for all the youth sports coaches out there. Today I'm going to be answering the top 5 questions I get from most facility owners, coaches, and organizations. And these top 5 questions I really believe are going to help put a lot of things in perspective for you. So if you are a youth sports coach, you're going to want to be paying attention to this video. So I'm going to start with number 1, because this is truly the number 1 question I get from all of my clients. Number 1 is, how do I get more kids into my program? And so this really, I ask you the question, what type of programs are you running? Do you just do one-on-one private lessons? Do you offer group training? Do you offer memberships? And what types of programs are you putting together for your athletes? What age are your athletes, right? So also you want to group by grade and by skill level, okay? And so this is the way I always answer this question. It always starts with clarity and consistency, okay? Make sure your offer solves a specific problem for your athlete, okay? Like tryout prep or confidence building. Confidence building is a big one for athletes. Then post about that weekly. Use social proof. What are your athletes getting out of your programs, okay? Get videos. Testimonials from parents are always powerful. And don't forget word of mouth. Ask your clients to refer more clients. Have a really great referral program in place for your athletes, okay? And always remember, limited spots is still your best marketing weapon, okay? Always, and it's got to be sincere, but you always want to remind those that you have limited spots, especially if you're a coach that offers mostly one-on-one or small group training. You want to make sure that that message hits home. Number 2, this is another real big one that I get. What should I charge for my programs, okay? And here's what I want all of my coaches out there to really pay attention to. Please, you are a huge asset to your athletes, okay? Huge. And so stop pricing out of fear, okay? Your rate should reflect your value, the experience, and of course the market that you serve. So be mindful of the market that you're serving. For us, we used to serve inner city youth. And so I was always coming up with creative ways to be able to give families the opportunity to take advantage of what we had to offer. I didn't overprice, but I priced fairly, okay? And that's what we really should be keeping in mind. Let's price fairly, but let's also not undervalue your worth. So research your local, comps. What is your competition doing in the area? But factor in your transformation, okay? Not just your time. What are your athletes getting out of your programs? Also offer tiers. I'm very big on tiers, okay? So we used to do on base, home run, and the VIP, which was the Grand Slam. So come up with ways that you can offer different tiers, and the more they commit, they get a little bit, a better pricing and more value for what you have to offer. Okay, so, and perhaps bundle. So like if they're wanting to do a camp, maybe bundle it with a private to boost your revenue per athlete or per group. Okay, another great way to do that. Okay, number 3, are we ready for this one? We need a drum roll, okay? How do I deal with difficult parents? Now, you don't deal with difficult parents. What you do is you put a very strict protocol in place, okay? And you make that very clear and consistent in your communication with parents. Your protocol should always be you're serving their athletes. And as long as you are keeping communication clear, and of course you keep it open, you want parents to feel like they can come to you, but there should be a very strict protocol in place as to how you manage parents, because you really don't need to be managing, especially when we grew to hundreds of kids. So it was almost impossible to manage every single parent. And so we had protocols in place for that. And we actually used to have our parents sign the protocol and the agreement. We had parent agreements. So if that's what you need to do, if you need to set parent agreements so that parents understand what their role is and how they can come alongside you to best serve their athlete, then that might be something you might want to consider, okay? You're running a business, and so professional boundaries are part of what you're doing and should become part of your brand. Very, very important, and that's a good question. Number 4, how can I turn this into a real business, not just a side hustle? And so what I want to say is, again, it comes back to your worth. And if this is something that you really want to do full time, by all means you should. More athletes need great coaches. Create recurring revenue systems. Memberships are always great. Do group trainings like clinics, and offer camps throughout the year. We used to offer all types of camps throughout the year. Of course, summer is what really keeps most coaches' revenue consistent throughout those months. But then as soon as September rolled around, we had camps already in place for holiday seasons, one-day camps. We even used to do a Black Friday camp. So keep those in mind when you're setting up your year. I always used to set up our year the December before, and I did January through December, okay? Build a brand, not just a team name. A lot of coaches are very focused on just building clubs and teams, but really think beyond that and how can you best serve your athletes. And again, go back to the age groups. How are you serving each age group? Because the little ones are going to need something very different than your older athletes, okay? Invest in tools that save you time. Automate everything so that you don't feel like a one-man band all the time. And it's going to make you look a lot more organized and professional. And track everything. Your business grows, and you can only grow a business that you can measure. So know your metrics of your business. And number 5, what's the best way to market my programs? And so there's so many different ways that you can market. Think visibility and value at all times. Post 2 or 3 posts, create content that you can create posts on different platforms. Okay, so parents mostly use IG and Facebook. So I always tell my clients, go where the parents are, because those are the people that you're trying to reach first. Okay, email. Please make sure that you're building an email list. Very powerful. And that's really how you will continue to build that list, as each time someone comes into your environment, they answer anything on Facebook, or they ask to fill out a registration form. Make sure that you're taking those emails and you're building a list. Share tips behind the scenes. Your athletes' wins are always very powerful. And registration reminders. Okay, be mindful about always staying consistent and making sure the communication is consistent with your athletes and their parents. Use urgency, social proof, and clear next steps. So, example, to register, click here. Once you land on this page, click here. Enter the details. Follow through as the link indicates. So give very clear and precise instructions. And if all else fails, always let them know that they can be in contact with you and how they can be in contact. Do you prefer that they contact you via email? Do you prefer that they text you versus a phone call? So be very consistent as to how you'd like them to communicate. And don't underestimate the value of follow-ups. If you get an email or text message and you follow up and they don't answer, follow up again. Be consistent with your follow-up, and be sure that you have everything in place so that when you do follow up, you can give them precise answers to things. So I hope that these 5 frequently asked questions helped many of you out there. And if you have any further questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I can be reached by email at jrmpcc@gmail.com. Go make it an incredible day.